Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Trek. So tonight you join me in the Let's Talk Trek production office and we're going to cross over to our RikerCon outside broadcast unit momentarily to join the guys who are setting up there. So RikerCon broadcast unit, come in please. Can you hear me?
Hello, Dan. Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Allow me to introduce my colleague, Nick Fury.
I would like to say in advance that I don't have a drinking problem, but my depth perception is severely impaired. So if at any point I dribble, don't hold me accountable.
Right, don't remove you and put you back in because they're getting really weird audio off you.
That's nothing to do with the stream.
Sounds like a vibration.
Are you picking up good vibrations?
Okay, so let's have a look through the comments. So far, Megan's in, saying evening.
Hi, Megan.
Hello, Meg.
Victoria is in.
Vicky.
Vicky.
Valerie is in.
Auntie Val, happy birthday, Auntie Val.
Happy birthday, Val. Estefania is in.
Estefania.
Anne-Marie.
Hey, Anne-Marie, get your arse over the channel, not the channel, what's in the Atlantic, isn't
Yes, we can't wait to see it, and you.
Get over here, book a plane.
Christoph is in Dortmund, where Destination Star Trek has just reached the end of its line.
Can't wait to hear about it, Christoph.
Who else was there? Tell us about both other people.
Right. So if you are hearing a bit of a weird thing off these boys' mic, please tell me. I'm just worried it might just be my PC, to be honest. Yes. Anne-Marie says she needs to come for RikerCon 3.
Well, RikerCon 2 is only 6 days away. Come to that.
Yes,
We haven't even said there's going to be a RikerCon 3. We might announce it and then just not hold it.
There's a chap from Stoke who I'm sure rode the Atlantic, didn't he, in 6 days?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Other people are saying they can also hear the strangeness of your microphones, and you are very disturbing. Could you just exit the stream and come back in again?
I'll turn you over to IT.
IT, I'm going to kick you out, and then we'll get them in a minute. Right. Yes, we know people can hear them. Christoph says that Miss Marina Curtis and Kate Mulgrew were in the house. Amazing. Yeah, Marina's lovely. I love Marina. Kate Mulgrew, lovely. We're only 54 days from London Comic Con. Yeah. Yes, they did sound like Snap, Crackle and Pop. Yes, absolutely. Now, what we thought we'd have a do-over on, and we're just going to go back to our outside broadcast unit, who apparently are coming back on stream now.
Don't cross the streams.
How's that? You sounding any better?
Much better.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hurrah!
My Richard, that's a resplendent robe.
It is. I wanted to bring my guitar along to have a serious note, so as I haven't done, James will be my instrument. James, you can play a serious note for me. It's an A major, but I mean, yeah, okay, serious. This was sent to me by a friend with a note inside the parcel that said, "Hey, buddy, I know you had a bit of a shit year, but I wanted to send this just to let you know that I'm thinking about you. And regardless of it being a resplendent gift, it could have been anything. It's just nice to know when you're having a bit of a rough time that your friends and loved ones are thinking of you, and it was much appreciated. Thank you very much, Dan."
I feel like I should get my amazing robe out as well, because I feel amazingly underdressed.
Go on then, go on.
We've got matching robes.
We'll fill.
Is that why he's got? I'm feeling a bit like Gruber and Rene now.
Rene.
Rene. Oh, my little candy.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
So while he's gone, we've got to talk about
RikerCon.
Yeah, so we're at RikerCon at the moment.
Sort of. This is our bridge. As you can see, it's looking resplendent. So only running on reserve power at the moment, but it's running just fine.
Do you want to tell us a little bit So I can't see you there.
So, RikerCon takes place at the Oak Hotel in Ramsgate. It's next Saturday, the 1st of October, or as Richard would say,
The
1st of October. We're going to be down here for most of the day. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to have a short film competition. We're going to have an auction. Dependent on whether or not we can arrange an advocate, we're going to have the trial of Catherine Janeway, who stands accused of the murder of two
I think that is going to go ahead. I think I'm going to slip into the role of advocate, and I think that Dan will slip into the role of judge.
Right, so we're going to have the Honourable Judge Mason presiding over the trial of Catherine Janeway.
And I shall be bringing my judge's robe. So,
Mr. Ashby prosecuting and myself defending.
Am I prosecuting?
Would you want to do defence?
Of who? What?
Of Catherine Janeway.
For what?
For the...
as we are going to be doing our own legal proceedings, boys, should we get James? Can you acquire a robe of a different colour, and we can have the robes of justice?
What, by next Saturday, can I get a red robe?
Yes, I'm sure you can.
I mean, I've got my actual professional black robe that I could wear.
Yeah, boring. Not one of these magical things, like, do they?
Well, yes, it can go ahead though. So this is the trial of Catherine Janeway.
The trial of Catherine Janeway. In fact, off screen, we've got something very, very special.
We've got something very special, which we might try and show you at the end. But this is where the losing advocate is going to have to spend the evening. So this is the trial of Janeway for the murder of Tuvix.
The murder of Tuvix.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to be ensuring guilt.
Let's have a look through the comments, of which they are plentiful.
Forgive us, we can't see them here because we've got a little screen that's very far.
Hang on, I'll go and get my phone.
So I'll read them out.
Judith says, good evening.
Hey, Judith.
Judith! Don't
Christoph
forget, Rob, 6 days. Come on down.
Christoph says, there are other lovely people here too, of course. Christina Chong, Armin Shimman, Bob Picardo. But I guess I could tell you more on Saturday. You clearly have a better bridge than the one DST had.
Well, that goes without saying, doesn't it? Watch out, by the way, for the Riker's Beard upcoming new bridge set, which may or may not premiere in February of next year.
Christoph also says there was a Tuvix poll at DST. Janeway won and threw the Doctor off the stage.
Janeway won as in she was declared innocent.
Indeed.
What was the nature of the poll?
While Christoph gets back to us with that, let's have a look. Linda says hello.
Hey, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Judith says she would love to, but it's too short a notice and she has a massive savage raid to practice for.
Massive savage what?
Raid.
I can't read.
Well, Judith, you're going to have to fill us in on what the raid is about.
It's the raid. Oh, right. Okay.
We haven't actually introduced Gary.
The man that needs no introduction.
Who's Gary?
Wearing your red shirt. You probably should. Gary is a member of the Riker's Beard crew. He has been instrumental in getting the bridge and everything set up this morning because he's the man with the van.
Not just that, I think it's the record time we've had it all set up and put together.
Yeah, so 2.5 hours from actually getting to the Riker's Beard secret storage facility, and then loading the van, offloading it, and assembling the bridge.
And the Riker's Beard Cafe.
Don't forget the Riker's Beard special fried breakfast. Yeah.
Okay, this just in. What I'm hearing is Gary did all the work. That's what I'm hearing.
It's not untrue.
He wouldn't have been able to do it without supervision.
Amazing.
If you're interested, I sit in the Riker's Beard captain's chair, which is by far and away the most comfortable television chair you can imagine. And it has a remote control built into the arm.
Next up, let's have a look. Christoph says that the poll was whether Janeway was right in killing Tuvix and rescuing Nelox and Tuvok. The crowd was with Janeway.
Oh, yes, but then you're relying on a jury, and you don't want to rely on juries to get things right.
No.
Carol says, good evening. Looking forward to seeing us all next Saturday.
That's because Carol is going to be playing the part of Catherine Janeway in the trial of Catherine Janeway.
And she's the one that gets to go into a special place when she's condemned.
Steve McCarthy says hello.
Hi, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
So we did say there would be a. Well, let's tell you what. Let's play the Rikers Beard trailer and give some
Yeah, go on.
anticipation. Where is it?
Raw VT.
Yeah, that's very easy to say when they're not labelled.
And now, Mr. Scott.
The VT.
Ah, there you are. Welcome to Starbase Atlantis. Come with me. Go on through here to the bar area. So this space here serves both as our bar and as our transporter room. We may have that lit. We'll see how we can do in October. Aldebaran and whiskey, please, barman. Ah, refreshing. I needed that. Now, come with me. This is our principal venue, so come on in. As you will see, we have this nice big space here away from anyone else. Lots of seating and tables and so forth down here, plenty of room for everyone. But if there isn't space down here for everyone who turns up, we do have another room upstairs that you can fit probably 50, 60 people in. And if that is still not enough, there's a bar that you can fit perhaps another 200 people in. But they don't want to see any of that, because what you're here for is this. And this is, of course, the Rikers Beard Bridge. Some of you may have seen it at conventions or out and about or just online, but this is going to be here for the whole weekend, and you can come and have your photo taken on it, play around. No charges whatsoever, it's on us, we just want you to enjoy it. So, what's going to be happening? Well, firstly, when is it?
The 1st of October.
But get back to your duty station, Lieutenant.
The 1st of October.
Saturday. We'll be here most of the day, but certainly all evening. Keep your eye on our page for further details. We're hoping to have things like a quiz. We're hoping to have perhaps a costume competition if enough people turn up wearing costumes. And please, please do, because it makes it much more fun. Obviously, we just want to have a few drinks and share a meal with people. There's food and drink available all day. It's plenty of that available. Our friend Gary O'Brien, who is the producer and director of fan film The Holy Core, in which part of our set did feature. So please do come.
The 1st of October.
The Oak Hotel, Ramsgate. We'll see you here. Make it so.
Tell me, how many lights do you see? Now, during the commercial break, James was mocking my eye patch. Now we have Mirrorverse James.
So let me see. You took James.
I didn't understand.
Didn't understand a word of that.
I said you've poked James. Now he's gained an eye patch.
Yes.
What happens if you poke Gary with 2 fingers?
Probably go to hospital. I don't know. He's an Andorian engineer. What?
Well, so we did say in that there was. Let's have a look in the comments first. Daniel Adams says, "Is James a mirror universe as he wasn't stabbed by a Nautican?"
Yes, I'm having a very tapestry evening.
Anne-Marie says that's the best commercial of all time. Anne-Marie, it isn't. I've got something better.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. That's some of my best work. Thank you.
It's all the reason why you should get on a plane and be here next Saturday.
Estefani says the bar serves double as a transporter room. That's neat if you need to space yourself out. So we did say that there is a film competition, and I am going to tonight premiere my entry. So that,
No, Dan, you're not supposed to premiere it. It's meant to be a surprise on the evening.
No, you missed the briefing on this, James. Right.
Right. Okay.
I have 2 entries. We're going to premiere this one to give people an idea of the quality that you can get away
Oh,
with.
hang on. I better take my eye patch off. I don't want to miss a moment of this.
No, you want to make sure it's in 3D.
Depth perception's back up. Right, okay.
So here we go. This is the amazingness of my episode.
Pass me my ceremonial dagger, so I may kill myself as I am paralyzed.
No, if you're going to kill yourself, I'm not going to help you.
But it is the way of honor. Oh, science fiction magic! My back has been fixed. I am much better now. Thank you. I did not have to kill myself. What a life lesson I have learned.
There's no doubting that's a contender.
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, I would like to thank again Gary for.
Oh, no, we're going to reveal something very, very special now, dear viewer, for RikerCon. Very special indeed. And frankly, if you don't come, you have no chance of acquiring this.
So this is the Gutenberg award.
Why is the Gutenberg being censored?
This is the Gutenberg Award. There's going to be 3 Gutenbergs on offer. There's the Gutenberg for Best Picture. There's the Gutenberg for Best Actor, and the Gutenberg for the Best Special Effects.
Well, I think I've won all 3 categories there.
And the Gutenbergs have been kindly donated by a friend of the show, Gary. Take a bow, Gary. Gary also saw fit to leave this in there.
Well,
Luckily, we're post-watershed, everyone.
so the problem I have is obviously we filmed that in work, as you can tell. We didn't have any blue barrels, so we have something that identifies as a blue barrel. And we might have broken some health and safety regs, but it's fine. It's fine. It was
Well,
fun.
as long as you don't do anything like, publish it on the internet, it'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who is it you work for against 3, isn't it? Those are the regulation breaking buttons.
I believe I work for EE, which stands for Exploit Everybody. Right. Right, moving on.
So who's in the... Oh, sorry.
We've missed
Who's coming to RikerCon? Come on, in the comments, tell us who's coming.
Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arr!
Dan, why are pirates called pirates? Because they are.
They just are.
Oh, wow. Okay. Vicky
Look,
says
the Great Pirate Roberts.
Vicky says that I went to the Shatner School of Dramatic Falls. Anne-Marie says that was the greatest fan film of all time. And she's like been to America. She knows this.
And just been to America, she lives in America.
Yeah, but she's part of like the inner Trek sanctum. And she says it's the greatest.
One of the colonies, I believe.
Yes. There we go.
North America. Speaking of Shatner, by the way, watch this. Watch this. Ready? There's something on the wing.
Okay. Nick says better than Shatner. Nick Cook.
Well, Nick, of course, friend of the show, leads the Star Trek Intrepid fan series. Well worth a look if you've never seen it. And he doesn't know about acting.
She says, how many Gutenberg awards do you see?
I
Three Gutenbergs.
Quickly now, the guards are coming to take you away. Tell me.
What you have to understand is that Gary, when he prepared the Gutenberg Awards for us, couldn't find a 3D render of Steve Gutenberg.
Couldn't find a 3D render of a naked Steve Gutenberg,
so we had to have a naked Patrick Stewart instead.
The thing is,
but we still called them Gutenberg.
Yeah, it's the Gutenberg Award.
Yeah.
Wow. Right, let's have a look.
You have to read these out now. Can't see
we
them.
can't see it.
We really can't see them.
I know, that's why I'm reading it out. Victoria says she's coming. Daniel is coming. Christoph says he's coming a day early to escape the rail strikes that are happening on Saturday.
Yeah, so this has been recently announced for our hordes of fans that were coming from London. Some socialists have decided not to work, so there is a problem with the trains. Auntie Val has chosen to get a coach.
Yes.
Apparently they're ready available and quite easy. And the coach stop is literally right by the hotel.
The National Express.
You can get crisps and tea and all that shit.
For a sky-high fee.
Yeah. So you can get a National Express coach if you want to avoid the rail strikes.
Or you can drive.
Or you can drive. Or I have seen it on various Laurel and Hardy films. You can get one of these things where you both stand up, and you go up and down. You can get to us that way.
You can remortgage your house to a 4 chocolate mouse. Right, moving on. How many Riker's beards do we see? Well, Gary's lost his magnificent beard.
Have you got a beard, Dan? I can't see on an iPad that's 12 feet away from me.
Why are you not linked into the screen that you have?
I asked IT and it was just too difficult.
So the modern iPads, they only have literally one USB-C port, which I've had to plug into my audio system to make microphones work. Now, what I could have done was join the Roku onto the same network and then cast the screen onto the TV. However, if James's Roku suddenly decided to do some sort of update, the 4G signal down here is a bit shaky. I thought it wasn't worth the risk.
Okay. What entertainment for the evening do we have of RikerCon, boys?
We have the short film competition, which you've just heard about. We have the trial of Catherine Janeway that you've heard about. We have the quiz. Yes, there's going to be a video quiz that's going to involve technology. There's going to be the auction.
Okay.
And the President, Mrs. Dillon, has allowed me all of 10 minutes today to work on the construction side to auction off.
So what's the auction?
We're going to auction some stuff off.
What stuff?
Anything people donate. I've got some stuff I want to get rid of.
For their own personal gain?
Sell off.
We'll do it for charity. It's always for charity.
Oh, no, the whole event. Sorry, this is not clear. The whole event, which is free to attend, will benefit Oasis, which is a local, well, in fact, it's a national, but it has a local presence, charity which benefits victims of domestic abuse. And it is an area in which my legal practice also functions, and I'm very keen to support Oasis as a charity. So bring
just
your
so we're
cash.
clear, we don't support domestic abuse.
No, we support people who are the victims of domestic abuse. And we'll be hopefully able to present a large sum of cash to them for their extremely valuable work.
Right, fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise some money for Oasis, and then James is going to knock it off their legal bill. Right, moving on.
Are we going to auction? Could we auction, for example, you off?
Well, we can auction off a half-hour private time with me.
We could auction off James for half an hour. I'm happy, if someone wants to auction me off, I will do someone's ironing for half an hour. Seriously.
What, here?
Yeah. I'll bring a cordless ironing board down. Yeah, no problem. Bring your ironing with you. More than happy to do it.
Okay.
Don't do duvets.
Oh, don't do duvets.
Don't do duvets.
Don't do duvets.
Don't do duvets. But I'll do your smalls, whatever. Yeah, not a problem.
But what we could auction off is half an hour in the special room.
I'm not ironing in there. The light's rubbish.
I've got that TNG hoodie that I got in the Wish Challenge. I'm happy to auction that off.
If people are willing to spend some real money, I've got obviously that print I've now framed.
Ooh.
but I'd be expecting a couple of hundred for that.
Yeah, there's at least a couple of hundred for the original artwork of Catherine Janeway.
I'd be expecting a little bit more than that for my eyes.
So if anyone who's coming to RikerCon has anything they'd like us to auction off, do feel free to bring it down.
I'm auctioning off James. I'm bringing him down purely for that purpose.
And I believe we've also got Geekyoki.
Dicky?
What?
Geekyoki.
No, we haven't.
Yes, you have.
Oh, you do?
No.
Oh, you bring your karaoke machine?
No,
Yeah,
I've checked with the War Crimes
I can't
Tribunal and
wait.
they've said no.
I can't wait for that karaoke. If everything else goes wrong, we've got karaoke. Marvelous.
Well, we know that the Trekkie girls know songs in Klingon, so.
But only one of them is coming.
Coming now. All the others are cancelled.
Has everyone else cancelled? I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, everyone else is cancelled.
Well, it wouldn't be a convention if there wasn't cancellations the week before. You know.
Jonathan Frakes, at the moment, he's still not cancelled on us. So it's possible he might attend.
Do we have any, in the way that conventions traditionally work, can we run through the list of people who we know are definitely now not going to be able to attend?
Yes, Sir Patrick Stewart has sent his apologies. He's unable to
Definitely
attend.
not coming, Sir Patrick.
Tony
Tony Lee, definitely not coming.
Lee, he's not joining us for RikerCon.
Harrison Ford, not coming.
Boris Johnson has declined the invitation.
I think he's coming.
Oh, he is coming. Right, okay. Oh, damn it. Liz Truss, we can't keep her
She
away.
wasn't invited. Hasn't she got a lot on? She should.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is not able to attend. Nicolas Sarkozy, no, he's gone, hasn't he? It's Macron now. Macaroni is the new French president.
I've also sent out some invites, but unfortunately the following people have cancelled or said they're unable to attend. So we are unable to have John Prescott, who I thought might be Boris was coming. You know,
Hands up, anyone who came to the show this evening in a Jaguar.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. But only one Jaguar.
Why? Which one of you's got a Jag? It's got to be Gary.
Which one of
A
you
man-
used to have a Jag before he had children?
I had a Jaguar until the children spoiled it. Beautiful car. I love that car.
Well, maybe when your children get to 18, you can buy yourself a Jaguar as a well done to not murdering them in 18 years present.
Well, actually, I've got a trust fund for the children, and it basically has a caveat on it, which is that if they don't do a university course that I approve of, for
You get the
example,
money.
PE, then I buy a sports car instead.
What, like a soft degree, like ceramics?
Media studies.
Oh, that's travel and tourism. Even worse, sociology.
Phonology.
Phonology. Yeah, this is the craziest thing. I'm actually a scientist.
Oh, how about Scientology? Right.
That's the only time I got banned from a Star Trek fan group. I was a member. I can't remember what the fan group was called, but they wished Kirstie Alley a happy birthday, and I commented, "Happy birthday to the only actress who actually thinks she's been to outer space and met aliens." And they kicked me off the group and banned me. Well, to be fair, she probably did follow the group.
Back into the comments because we've been gnashing for a little bit. Nick Cook says he's got about a day's worth of stubble at the moment, and he's got a picture of him and the Millennium Falcon in the background, which I assume is at Disney.
Hoping that's chin stubble.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, genuinely, we're very sad that you can't make it down to see us next week, but next time, eh?
Yeah, next time, Jack.
Daniel Adams says a quiz.
Yeah, Daniel, you start with a handicap because you always win every quiz.
Daniel, are you coming? Is Daniel coming?
He is coming.
Okay, so someone is preparing a quiz, and in fairness, for the quiz, you are going to be officially weights and measures, I'm afraid, mate. You are adjudicating the quiz.
Nick Cook says special room. Is it a broom cupboard?
It might be.
It's a sex dungeon. It actually is.
It does look like. Don't tell
Victoria
them
says that Truss has heard about the karaoke. And obviously,
Karaoke?
I think she's probably heard more about the jelly wrestling.
in the sex dungeon.
In fairness, do you think they could lend us Downing Street for our party? Because, everyone else had a party there.
Oh no, I'll get fired.
Judith says, why has nobody invited Edwina Curry?
Who says we haven't?
Who says she's not here now, topless over there?
You can't see what we can see behind the camera.
Hello, Claire.
You're jagged.
I can't read that. How can you read that?
It's a naughty comment. Don't read that.
What does it say?
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Alan says, is there a difference between a broom cupboard and a sex dungeon?
It depends what you're doing in there, I suppose.
Well, I'm quite lucky because I'm only 5'8", so for me a broom cupboard could be a sex dungeon. For someone of a slightly more inconvenient stature, they might risk a lower back injury.
Estefania says, will the boys, combined, that's all of us, be singing 9 to 5 by Dolly?
Why? Oh, it's karaoke. No.
Answer for the four of us, including Gary. Hands up if you actually only work between 9 and 5.
How does it go?
Well, 9
Working
a.m. and
9
5
to
a.m.
5.
maybe.
What a way to make a living.
Well, I sent some emails this morning. So.
Gosh, I'd love to work only 9 to 5.
5 days a week.
Only 5 days a week would be nice.
Do you know what? I saw a job advertised. Not that I was looking at jobs, but I saw a job advertised this week that said full-time position, 38 hours. Oh, how I laughed.
Well, you and I do that in 2 days, don't we, Dan?
38 hours, Monday to Friday. I was like, how very comical.
What do you do with the rest of the time?
I don't know. Oh. Apparently, the 9 to 5 thing is an Orville reference, Estefania says.
Oh, it's true. It is in an episode of The Orville when he's the ginger fellow is flying the ship around.
They skillfully wrote in Dolly Parton into an episode.
Yes.
Marvellous.
We could play it, except we'll get another copyright strike, won't we?
We could probably do it in A minor, but I don't think we could sing it in Dolly's key. I think she sings in E.
Right, so it's time for Gary to do a bit on the show. Gary, would you like to introduce this week's wish clip?
I would if I knew what it was.
Oh, you think we know when we do it? No, we
Right,
don't.
I tell you what, I'll play the intro. I'll play the intro, and
Play the
James,
intro and I'll tell him what it is.
you tell him what he has to say, yes.
Right, we have a clip. What was it? The wish clip. The wish clip, which is what in Sam Hill have we found on the internet this week?
Gary, just say the end saying, roll VT.
Just roll VT. Roll VT.
Well
Excellent.
done.
Yes?
I have a petition here to stop the Space Channel from showing so much Star Trek. Could I please get your signature?
What show?
Star Trek. Look at the space schedule here. Star Trek the original, Star Trek the Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Star Trek Voyager. It's all they play. And it's gotta stop.
Do they play Magnum P.I.?
No, ma'am. They don't. They play Star Trek. The only people that watch this crap live in their basement and have no lives. They wear stupid costumes, go to conventions, and call themselves captain and stuff. It's gotta stop, and will you please sign my petition?
Well, I still don't know what you're talking about, but I'll get my son to sign for you. Gary, get up here, dear. He lives in the basement. Such a nice boy.
Butak!
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Kapla!
Doha Jopadak Hasta. Charkum Raj.
Get ready for more Star Trek Enterprise, the new series, coming this fall to space.
Fall is what people who live in America call autumn.
I thought that was marvellous. I thought it was introduced well. I thought the wish pip was a good one. Nothing beats the Milwaukee Easy Rider, George Takei.
You love the one with Shatner in the frozen food.
Oh yes, Ludlaw's frozen foods.
Ludlaw's frozen foods.
Yeah. Does he work here?
Right, next up, comments-wise, Tony Lee says,
Hey, Tony!
I like how when the advert plays, we can see Richard staring at the camera, his dead eyes wondering who and how he should kill next.
Again, a very astute observation, Tony. Luckily, it's not you.
Antival says it's the best wish clip ever.
Oh, really? You
And
like
she
that
says,
one?
would the three gentlemen in Ramsgate like to sing her happy birthday?
Yes, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Auntie Val. Happy birthday to you.
Hip, hip.
And many more.
Right, now let's hear how that song should be sang. How that song should be sang. Right, okay. Connor says, Christoph says, Christoph says that at Destination, the crowd sang Faith of the Heart for Connor Trinier.
Oh, God.
We've come a long way.
Can we hear it sung properly?
Getting from here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally here. But I'm not gonna look that way anymore. Cause I've got faith on the heart. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
Christ.
Thanks for that, Christoph. Thanks. You can sing it next week.
Yes, please.
Cause
Right.
I've got faith into the heart.
Let's not even talk about what they've done to Quantum Leap.
Oh, Jesus. So I was watching Quantum Leap, the new Quantum Leap, last night.
Very disappointing.
And approximately 3/4 of the way through the episode, my left testicle disengaged. It actually just scuttled off, went down my trouser leg, and ran out the fucking door. Okay, that's how bad it was. It was awful.
Right. Okay.
So, Donald P. Belisario, come on and explain yourself.
Lots of time for Donald P. Belisario. Belisario are the people behind NCIS.
Sounds like a made-up name to me.
Bring back Airwolf, Belisario. That's great. I mean, there's no circumstance that cannot be improved by a Mark 1 Plus super attack helicopter.
Could you imagine how shit it would be if they did remake it?
Yeah.
It'd be awful.
Actually, this will amuse you. I found that there was a company based up at Manston Airport, which is just about a mile over that way. And they were going to hire out tours in an Airwolf replica a couple of years ago. And I was really excited, thinking, this is brilliant. We can go for a flight in Airwolf. And there's a video of it and stuff. And it never happened.
Why didn't it happen?
I don't know why it didn't happen. It just didn't.
What a lunacy.
The Bell S-222 helicopter, I believe, is the actual helicopter.
The actual
used.
name is Airwolf.
Obviously. Silly me.
Wow. Right, so let's have a look here. Christoph says that the Destination crowd sang it better, I'm afraid. The fan that started it is a professional opera singer.
I'm afraid, Christoph, you're wrong.
And why did he choose to sing Faith of the Heart then? I mean, surely he should have just gone, go compare, etc.
Or anything that the Doctor did in his operatic bit. You know. Judith. She saw the trailer and it looks hideous. The Quantum Leap looks poor.
Oh, I thought she meant our Riker trailer for a minute. I would have been terribly offended.
Juicy says that most modern writers aren't good enough to write more than beginner fan fiction. However, I would disagree with that slightly because Strange New Worlds is very good.
I think Judith, and slightly serious note here. I think modern writers are under an obligation to try and hook you quicker because there's so much available. Like sci-fi is not a niche genre anymore. So if you're doing, you can't just let sci-fi be your niche. You need to get. I was having this conversation with probably myself earlier about Lost in Space. The fact that it kind of ran out of ideas after the first season. They used up all their good stuff in the first season because they kind of had to try and get the second season, and then they ran out of ideas. So I think perhaps not as good. Have to work harder, I think, would be a kind of way of saying it. You have to work harder.
I think as well, when you look at some of the older shows that we all know and love, I mean, if you're talking original Quantum Leap, or if you're looking at, I mean, she uses some examples in the next comment, which says that lessons were learned from Knight Rider and Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, that avoid all remakes. My thing is that we've talked about this before, that the quality of TV has improved so dramatically, so even over the last 15 years, you know, and the writing has to keep up with it, and people's expectations are that they want. You're going to have two camps: those that remember the original and expect it to be, you know, a proper homage to the original, and those that don't realise it's a reimagination, a reboot with a newer audience, you know, and it's sort of balancing the two of those things. They're actually quite hard. So.
Oh, it's not. If it was easy, we'd all be professional writers. I mean, it's one of these conversations we've had with friend of the show, Tony, because I remember the comments. It's writing is not easy. If you want to know how hard it is, have a go at writing something. It's actually really hard. It's very difficult.
Well, that's the thing of good drama, isn't it? I mean, if there's no decent plot, then it doesn't matter how good your actors are, or how good your sets are, or your special effects, or
how much representation you get into it. If it's not entertaining, people won't watch it. So that's number one of the agenda of anything you're going to make it entertaining. Everything else is secondary to it being entertaining. And I think because there is, the danger of repeating myself, because of Netflix and everything, you know, sci-fi is not a niche genre anymore. You know, back in the day when we got into Star Trek, there was Star Trek or Babylon 5. That was your sci-fi choice. That was it. So it's a tougher area to work in these days.
Now, Nick actually brings up a very good comment here that says, define good writing. There's a difference between this is bad and I don't like it. Too many people can't tell the difference.
You're wrong there, because if we don't like it, it is bad.
Am I entertained?
There's two. Am I entertained, and do I? Because I have this with Ted Lasso. You finish an episode of Ted Lasso, you can't wait for the next one.
It's true.
Yeah. So if you can't wait,
bing bong, you ding dongs.
Have that tree. But if you're really excited to watch the next episode, like, I mean, this is the whole Netflix thing, like Stranger Things. If you're binging the whole series because you're enjoying it so much, then you've written it well. If, like, season 2 of Only Murders in the Building, you kind of put it on because there's nothing else to watch, then you
put it on with high hopes and go.
Although I would raise you that some of that is the release method of Ted Lasso versus, for instance, Stranger Things. Stranger Things was released in 2 lumps where you could just sit and binge your way through it. You know,
and the original Stranger Things was just dropped all in one go.
Yeah, and Ted Lasso has gone for the thing that, you know, Trek is doing over here, which is going on a weekly release basis. So you have that. I'm looking forward to it. You know.
Yeah. But again, we're going back to, we've talked about this on the show before, that I feel strongly about when you had long seasons and you had episodes that were airing and next week's episode hadn't been finished yet, you had what was called reactive writing. So you could respond in a week's time to the reaction the audience had to last week's show. And I think, in my opinion, I think that writing suffered a bit because of that. It's probably a bit easier for the writers in terms of pressure, but certainly I think I think some shows are even filmed. They film 2 seasons at a time,
Back to back, yeah.
and yeah,
Didn't they do that with Picard?
I think they did, yeah. So you can't react to how things are being received, so you can't sort of tweak it on the fly.
Hasn't Cameron filmed the next 2 Avatar movies back to back?
I don't know. I really didn't like the first Avatar.
Oh, he's done Titanic 2 and 3 back to back.
Oh.
He's done another Titanic film.
Titanic 2 and
Yes, it's called Titanic 2, The Mystery of the Still Full Swimming Pool.
Is it seriously another Titanic film?
No, I was pulling your check.
Because he did The Abyss, and I thought, are they going to try and make a sequel to The Abyss and the Titanic all into one?
Okay, so back into the comments, and it is quite comment heavy today. So Estefania says, I guess after the passing from Louise Fletcher, we can now count the days till they make a remake of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, sad news about Louise.
Yeah, it was very sad. She's one of my all-time favourite movie villains. She's a great actress. Sad to hear she's passed. I have to say, Estefania, that's one film I think they'll dare not try and remake. I don't think you could.
Judith is going to accept Richard's challenge and write a scene for 2 TV shows.
Oh, even better.
So
write
do we nominate them?
write a scene for the short film competition for next year, Judith.
Well, Judith, why not submit your short film competition entry remotely? Even if you're not coming, we can still play it.
Or you can send us a script and we'll act it for you.
Well, subject to seeing what the script actually is.
I think we should just accept it.
So, scrolling through this as quick as we can. Christoph says, Armand Schimman says that the writer is the first artist. The actor comes second.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, Dan, when it comes to Neelix, who actually, do you know what, he was written into the show to be comic relief, and actually they found out the actor was a bit better than they thought it was going to be, so they made him a character of contrast, and the actor worked then with the writer. But yeah, absolutely, the writer comes first, but if you want it to be really good, then they have to work together.
Right, next up, Nick says, there are plenty of things I don't like and aren't entertained by. Doesn't make it bad, it just means I personally don't like it, which is absolutely true. I can really get that. It's a very balanced view for this show, Nick, you do realise.
Opinions are like arseholes.
Yes, very true. Right, Judith says, Nightmare on Elm Street had good ideas with micro-naps, but poor execution. I couldn't decide if it was a reboot, a prequel, or something else entirely.
I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street, reboot or original or whatever.
Is that Elmo?
This is
the
the knife.
puppet from Sesame Street?
This is the knife hand man.
Oh, Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Christoph, Netflix has announced to abandon the binge release pattern and to switch to a weekly schedule.
Well, the thing that people miss out on is what used to be called the water cooler moment, where you would all gather around, assuming you're people who have 9-to-5 jobs and don't actually have any pressure on you. You can gather around the water cooler and discuss what you watched on television the previous evening, and everybody watched it together, and it was an event.
Actually, this is a really good point, because in work, we've all been watching, in between customers and stuff, the new season of Cobra Kai.
What do you mean at work?
At work, yes. It's fine.
Well, Cobra Kai is a good example because, as friends of the show will know, I'm a lifelong martial artist, and I love Karate Kid films. And I really enjoyed the first season of Cobra Kai, and the second season, I think I only watched half of it, and I lost interest in it very quickly. And I felt it suffered very much from what I'm saying, a lack of reactive writing. And I thought, this isn't going to last, and it's now into season 5. I was completely wrong. It goes to show my theory.
Is it true they did a remake of the Karate Kid with Will Smith, and the first line
No. Yeah, it's quite right. It's Will Smith's son.
Will Smith Jr.,
who's since emancipated him.
who said, I'm going to teach you Kung Fu.
Yes.
Well, that's not karate then, is it?
Well, that's That's something I could talk about for probably an hour. But basically, karate is a form of white crane kung fu. So,
All right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I love the smell of kung fu.
well, it had Jackie Chan in it, so it was brilliant as far as I know.
But surely not everybody was kung fu fighting.
So next up, Alan is wishing Mark Hamill a happy birthday from the
Well,
other.
he's an actor in a different franchise. We're
Yeah,
not
friend
interested.
of the show, Mark Hamill. Hello, Mark.
Nick says, going back to circling back, Avatar was a pedestrian but serviceable script. I didn't really enjoy it. It was very derivative.
I thought it was a load of old bollocks.
But it had the big blue aliens. That was funny.
Pretty
Judith
bossy.
says, you really don't want to give her the power to make you act her script, to which Vicky immediately replied with, after reading Judith's writings, don't promise to act it out without reading it first. So...
Oh, that reminds me. Didn't Sam uncover a script that she'd written some months ago from when they were all at school together, and they promised to make it for us?
Yes, she did.
They promised that.
Shimmerman is right. Also considered the director and the editor contribute a lot. Estefania has put something in German, which I'm afraid I don't read German, so someone else who does.
Oh, I'll read that.
I can't read it. It's too far away.
Habasmel Neelix, Gelsen Wagensessen Wesenberg.
Something about sausages, isn't it?
Knock first.
Oh, hold on. I know how to fix this. I've got Google Live Translate on my phone.
Well, you're going to read that out to your phone.
No, I'm going to get my phone to tell me what it is.
How are you going to...
Let's work through all the German we know. Entschuldigung Sie bitte, wie komme ich am besten zum Bahnhof?
Where are your peppers?
Okay, so I've got that.
Ich wohne in Kent.
Schnell means faster.
And my phone has translated it, boys and girls, with the help of Google Vision. I read Neelix first and was a little confused.
What?
Well, that's cleared that up.
Sorted that out. Okay,
Yeah, marvellous. Yeah. Moving on.
Sadly, Neelix, Ethan Phillips, has cancelled his destination appearance one day before the event, or so they said.
Really? One day before the event?
Yeah. Dan Adams says that the reason that Netflix is going to a weekly release schedule is that they want people subscribing for more than 1 month at a time, and not just subscribing binge watching.
Yes, they will sign up for the 3-month subscription, binge an entire series they want to see, and then cancel.
So this is what we were talking about.
Isn't that's what you did with Girlfriends at university, wasn't it, James?
So in
work,
work,
maybe watching this, I couldn't possibly comment.
So in work, we were saying that we've all been watching Cobra Kai, but some of us have watched, because they released the season at once, some of us have managed to watch it all. Some of us have got 2 or 3 episodes in. So now, if we want to talk about it in work, we're all having to say to each other, where have you seen up to? Well, if it was all released on the same week, it'd be so much easier. Yeah. I'm up to this bit. All right, I can't talk to you about that.
So one of the things, it's reminded me as a friend of the show, Tony's watching, because Tony and I both enjoy the wrestling. And back in the day, because wrestling is live entertainment, so it goes out live. It's one of these things that can't be changed because it's a live show. And back before social media, when there was a really brilliant wrestling broadcast going on, people would phone each other up and literally go around to their houses and knock on the door. Have you seen this has happened with NWA taking over the WCW and stuff? You don't get that anymore unless you have live programs that are going out. Do we support it, or how do we feel about it? Do we like it? Would we rather that Star Trek Strange New Worlds came out at 6 o'clock, the new episode in the UK on a Wednesday evening?
Yes.
And then was available on demand afterwards? Is that how we say we'd want it?
Yes.
What's
That's
your
what we
preference, Gary? Weekly or in one hit?
I'll go for one hit.
Just get through it as
And
quick as you can.
then available on demand thereafter?
Yeah. On demand after.
As you would a virtual video cassette that you programmed and recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, one hit works, but I mean, like you say, I think we're going to see TV distribution change more and more because, like Dan says,
I've
they
had
try
an
to
idea.
combat people who are subscribing and then cancelling. So
I've had an idea.
He's had an idea.
This is a really good idea.
Oh,
So,
golly.
do you remember? No, this is a good one. Do you remember back in the day when Chris Evans did TFI Friday?
yes.
And TFI Friday, that rolled out at 6 p.m. on a Friday. And then they did the late show at 11 p.m. And the way they got people to rewatch it is they did an extra bit for the late show. They did like an extra scene, there was an extra music performance, or there was an extra bit. And you didn't know where it was coming in, so you had to watch the whole show again. What if that you dropped a season completely, but every week you released the director's cut? You know, it doesn't have to be much, just a couple of extra scenes, because you've watched it. So that way, if you could either wait to watch the episode with the director's cut, or instead you could binge the entire season and then have to rewatch it to see the bits the other people have waited to do it. That way you get much more viewing figures.
In a sort of similar way to how Marvel put the post-credit scene in.
I'm brilliant. Sometimes my own genius astounds even me. Send donations to our PayPal account when this becomes the norm, and I will invest into making the best TV series ever with this way of doing it.
Right, so let's have a look in the comments. Judith says, "Oh my God, Vicky, my great grandma got herself on live TV at the old Saturday night wrestling match. She drove into the ring, blew us on show, and started hitting the heel with her handbag."
Who remembers Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks?
I went to see them at the Winter Gardens.
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Not the signatures.
Nick Cook has gone to bed. He says he's tired, so. Good
Ta-ta,
night,
Nick.
Sorry if we put you to sleep, Nick.
Christoph says, Marina said that Seth MacFarlane can't keep a girlfriend because he wants to spend the evening watching TNG all the time.
It's normally best wait until they're asleep.
Dan Adams says the only thing equal to his Star Trek knowledge is his classic WWE trivia.
Oh, you and I.
Sounds like a fight.
Sounds like yes. Cool. How far back are we talking?
Well, this isn't Star Trek, and if you don't want to talk about wrestling, we'll tune off now. But I read the other day that Hulk Hogan choked out a TV presenter live on telly by accident. Gave them.
So in a roundabout way.
Accidentally.
Yeah. So in a roundabout, it's quite easy to do by accident. So the problem is.
I just happened to have my arm around his neck.
I'll demonstrate on James here. So.
Don't spill my beer. Yeah.
So the issue is, if you're going to perform a naked choke on someone, a lot of people think that.
Hang on. What's this naked thing?
that you just get your arm around them and lock it in, and all that does, that just asphyxiates them, and you'll tap out. It takes actually a while to pass out from that. But if you really want to get someone, make sure you get your elbow parallel there, and then when you put the lock in, it cuts off the artery at the side of their neck, and that puts them to sleep literally in about 10 seconds. Cuts off the blood supply properly. It is quite easy to do accidentally.
Right.
And you're back in the room.
So do you know the Hulk Hogan story?
I don't know, but it is easy to choke someone out by
Right. So the story goes that on a TV show in America somewhere, Hulk Hogan and Alan's just put up a YouTube link to it. Hulk Hogan is being interviewed along with another wrestler, and the TV host says to him, "Oh, demonstrate a wrestling move on me." And the other wrestler was like, "No, mate, you're not built for this." And he keeps pecking Hulk Hogan and pecking him and pecking him and pecking him. And eventually Hulk Hogan's like, "I'll show you a chokehold." Shows it. And the guy collapses, like you said, hits the ground. As he hits the back of his head, he cuts the back of his head on the studio floor and starts bleeding, which they very quickly cut to commercial. Eventually, the man and Hulk Hogan reached a settlement of several $1 million.
Hulk Hogan's done worse, to be fair. And gotten away with it, so yeah, there we are. Yes, it's surprising. This is the thing. It's called a chokehold, and you think that you're cutting off their oxygen. It's not at all. It's the blood supply to the brain. It's the arteries you go for. Just so we're all happy that that's the correct way to choke someone else. You're not actually choking them.
So available for auction next Saturday. Richard will choke you out.
I will choke you out. Auction. I'd happily choke you out, or perform a rear naked choke on you. Is probably a better way to advertise it.
And if you want it done in the next dungeon, then
Yeah, oh yes. The other wrestler that was on with Hulk Hogan on that show was Mr. T.
Well, he's not.
He's not going on a crazy TV show.
Isn't that show he does? Fools. Look at this fool. it's like You've Been Framed, but with Mr. T. It's the funniest thing in the world. Look at this fool. Look at this fool. Look what he's doing. It's brilliant.
Here at the airport, he's going on a crazy plane.
I ain't got no plane. Here, have this milk. Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Well, I think the show was called Crazy Fools as well. It was just like You've Been Framed, but with instead of Jeremy Beadle with B.A. Baracus.
Oh, is it time for Carl's collectible corner yet?
I'm just looking. The guy that hit his head needed 100 stitches. It went to court.
100 stitches.
What? Was his head split in half? What happened?
I don't think so. They must be
His lawyers then. The TV presenters' lawyers then claimed they were entitled to 50% of the settlement due to the angst, aggravation, and lifeblood they'd spent on the case.
I'll choke you out, much less.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't sound like a case run through the British legal system.
Estefani says if she was an executive at Netflix, she would switch to a weekly schedule and offer you the possibility to buy the whole season up front for an extra amount. So binging could be a profitable way. Dan says it's true that they settled and the guy then called his house that he bought Hogan Towers.
That's sang-froid, if ever I've heard it.
Insomniacs might like to have Richard's chokehold. And Dwayne,
My
Rock chokehold.
my rear naked chokehold.
Well, indeed. Right, Carl's collectible corner, things that James owns too, is it?
No, we're doing James's junk.
No, Gary can do Carl's. Gary is the new Carl.
Oh, right, okay.
Gary, how northern do you sound?
Not very much, mate.
I'll do.
Try this.
No, that's the... What happened to the theme tune? We miss Carl, but we've got Gary.
Hello. Ooh,
Hello, new Carl.
My beard looks massive. This isn't my beard. This is the squid. Look, it's like the same colour.
It looks like massive zero, doesn't it?
That's no way to describe Mrs. Ashby.
That's brilliant. Look at that.
Anyway, Carl. Sounded a bit sort of Indian, really.
Does thy whippet have
whip it out.
So here we have the Gutenberg.
Tell us a bit about what went into making this, Gary.
Right, well, using 3D printer to do this, as you heard earlier, I couldn't actually get a Steve Gutenberg for it, so I went for a naked Picard.
Was the naked Picard readily available?
Yes, it was. It was ready available and free to download. So I did that, and I made the base as well to go with it, painted it all, and it is going to be available.
Did you paint it by hand?
No, tin of aerosol.
Did you use your hand on the tin of aerosol?
Yes, I used
My
my hand
hand?
to do it, yeah. I used the other hand to rotate it while I was doing it.
So what would be the open market value of the Gutenberg?
Right,
What's Sir Patrick clutching in his left hand there?
It looks like a scarf.
Scarf? No.
Cravat, maybe?
And what's that clutching onto his rear leg?
Looks like it's a tree.
Yeah, it looks like a tree
Or
stump.
a deformed lost dog.
Could be a lost dog. No. Oh, I don't know what to put value on that.
Well, we
Must be
normally
hard
value
to
these
screen.
things in Barrowmans.
I think it's going to be difficult to say until one's been awarded to someone, but I would say
Yes.
at least 60,000 Barrowmans.
60,000 Barrowmans
You're
as a
so
market
generous.
appraisal. Well, there you go. Any questions to your viewers?
How much does it weigh?
It's immense.
It's
Fucking.
James, could you?
Hang on, I'll turn off the artificial gravity. There we go.
Thank you. About half a kilo.
Alan Window says he wants one.
Well, Alan, if you are in the short film competition, I think you have submitted a film.
We have received your entry, Alan, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Was it as good as my entry?
I can't.
Well, we can't
I'm
prejudge
not the
this,
judge.
can
So
we?
the judge is going to be filmmaker Gary O'Brien,
yeah.
who's coming down.
So Gary O'Brien's going to judge who enters better, yes? Okay.
Yeah, he's going to judge the entries and then give out the Gutenbergs accordingly.
Wunderbar. Right. It's now 10:10, so we've done our hour.
Gosh, we're over.
Well, we've overrun.
The pub's actually closed. We should have left.
We're now locked into this hotel. We can't get out.
Oh, golly. Okay. Trek scene
My
number
beard
one.
looks. This is brilliant. Massive beard, little beard, huge beard, pointy beard, wizard beard.
Trixie, oh dear, no, Judith, no,
I can't see
you've got to
that.
come. You've got to come to the microphone. You've got to say things like that.
Trexie idea noted down. The consequences would be potentially catastrophic. Well, there's very little that we can't achieve. With a little bit
Right
of
then, boys.
a lot of luck.
All that's left to do, I think, is to say to everyone, we will see them next week at RikerCon.
Really looking forward to seeing everyone that's coming.
Please do come. If you haven't decided to come along. It's going to be so much fun, and it's free.
Cheers.
It's also for charity. We do a lot of work for charity, mate. We don't like to talk about it. Don't like to talk about it.
Also left is to give Gary a round of applause for doing all of the work.
Well done, Gary. Top work.
Promotion is in your future, sir, I feel. And that, I believe, is everything. We're done. This has been a Sunday night Let's Talk Trek production without Carl.
Brought to you by the numbers 7, pi, and of course the colour ultramarine.
And the letter F. We like the letter F.
And the drink,
I do know an F word. Fun.
and the beverage Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster. Right, until next week.
Look after yourselves and each other.
Bien nuit. Au revoir.
Good night.